We have gone live and it's still not up, but I think we are now live. Hello everyone and welcome to the Slam Jam Wrestling Show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, as well as the Slam Jam Wrestling Show YouTube channel. So make sure you smash that subscribe button wherever you're watching. It is a Friday night. It is time to smack down and talk about all things happening within the world of professional wrestling. Now, we may have other people join us along the way, but my name is David, and we are joined by Gav. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. How you all doing out there? I haven't done this in ages, so you got bear with me.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow, Joe, when you did that, your hands were there, but your head disappeared. So, anyone watching on the video version, like...
Most people are like that, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, do you know what? I can't remember who it was. It was really weird. Years ago, I had a dream about... Who was the woman wrestler that was, like, with... Oh, my God, like, in the mid-noughties or something, with Deuce and Domino. I had, like, a really freakish WWE-based dream where she was carrying her own head. I swear this is true. Who was with Deuce and Domino? She was, like, a dominatrix gimmick.
Yeah, I can't
Who was that? Who the hell was that? But I swear, one time, I literally had a dream, and when I woke up, I was like, that's the weirdest dream I've ever had. But it was like she could remove her head. It was like, it's probably playing too many video games.
Say, did you have to change your sheets, though?
Did I have what?
Did you have to change your sheets?
For various reasons, Gav, no doubt.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so anyway, now... There's some interesting stuff been happening within the world of professional wrestling, but the thing that has caught my attention most is WWE are now selling a Bret Hart Championship belt. If you check that out there, it should be so you can see it. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's good, but at the same time, I don't think it's the best. Like, it's silver, it's not gold. It kind of looks like one side of his glasses, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does look like that.
I feel like you need two of them to be like across your eyes. But yeah, so okay, I don't know if you saw the price. I was just trying to cover it. Guess how much this costs? It's still on the screen. So.
Well, I see the one.
Ah, you're looking, Gav. Right. Okay.
187.
Yeah, it is. It's 187. There you go. So I don't know. And look at that. That's weird artwork of Bret on the inside of it. I don't know if you can see that somewhere. Yeah, you wouldn't even see that.
I know someone that would buy that.
Who?
Natty,
yeah.
Natty, Punk, and Dax Harwood.
Oh yeah, Dax and Cash probably have this.
Yeah.
Punk probably has it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would love to. This is the thing, being a wrestling fan, collecting all of the different things, if you collect any of the stuff, they just get so much out of everything now. It's not just, oh, you can get the side plates. Now you can get individual championship belts. It starts, and like, is this all actually Steve Austin's fault? Because didn't he actually commission the Steve Austin belt?
There was that as well, and then like the Warrior as well, when he changed all the straps. But
yeah, true. Yeah, but Warrior had like the custom strap, but then Austin made a custom belt. There was the Rock one, obviously the John Cena spinner belt. You know, Lance Storm along the way had his Canadian belts, but they may have literally been stickers on it. But
I've just like when you were saying Deuce and Domino earlier.
Yeah.
I had to actually Google.
Okay.
And it's Cherry.
Who?
Cherry was it?
Cherry. Oh, maybe it wasn't her then. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It wasn't her. Who had got like? Who was the woman with like a dominatrix gimmick? She'd like have a whip.
Oh, Shaniqua.
Was it Shaniqua? No, I don't think that's the right name either. Sorry?
Who's with the Basham Brothers?
The Basham Brothers. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were doing that.
Okay. I'll look this up. We'll Basham Brothers WWE. Unless it wasn't the Basham Brothers. Oh yeah. I think it was the Basham Brothers. Was it Shaniqua?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, Shaniqua. Yeah, what a weird dream I had. Okay. Now, anyway, I've had weird dreams. Have you had dreams about wrestling at all in your past?
Yeah, but probably when I was actually doing it and like being in the actual matches.
Wow.
I've had some really weird ones. I remember like one time I was meant to wrestle Mr. Perfect, In my dream, I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to wrestle him in the end. But because he died just before we were meant to actually wrestle together.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are heading towards the King of the Ring. King and Queen of the Ring, which may literally be what it's called now. Or is it King and Queen's Crown of the Ring or something? King of the Ring 24. Let's bring this up. So, the main event for it, unless they do actually have it as the King of the Ring, is going to be Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. What's your thoughts of them doing this? And is it title for title?
It is. Yeah,
that's so weird. Cody has just won the belt, so it feels like Cody is getting the US title, and I don't know why they'd be doing that.
Maybe because he's the American Nightmare, but going for that, and probably want to solidify, even though he doesn't even need it, solidifying his reign again.
I feel like they're trying to fast track him for the audience to turn on Cody, though. Because it's like, if you give him too much, if you push him too much down people's throats, they're gonna go off him, you know.
What was it? Even 2 weeks into the run, everyone was like, "Oh, this is boring already."
Yeah.
And
I know, Pete. Like the fan. Yeah, exactly. The fans. You can't ever please them at all.
No, never.
But I don't know. It just feels like a mistake to. Like, I understand, like, the weird thing with Logan Paul is he already had a main event in Saudi Arabia against Roman. And
I think that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, well, like, he's a big star. He is, like, a main event player. And, like, I think when they made him finally wrestle on SmackDown or something once, they had the idea where he said, like, I don't wrestle on SmackDown, I'm a big money player, or I'm a pay-per-view player, or whatever. And... So, Logan Paul is in the weird position where he's had, like, 10 matches. He's got a mid-card title, but he is also a main eventer. And, look, SWAT Deeds, Capel Fave, get on the stream and tell us in person. Not in the chat. Not in the chat. Right, get on the stream, guys. He says Cody, and I don't know what the context is from that, but he says, no, Logan Paul is not a star. Look, Cap, come on here. We can talk about Jake Paul versus about Mike Tyson. We can chat it all, but you gotta get on here, man. You gotta get on here. Yeah, but yeah, I'd say Logan Paul. He's got that aura around him that he's a star, that he's a main eventer, but he isn't going to win this. I feel like unless Cody is secretly injured. Now, Cap says he's coming. We don't need these details, man. Right, okay. Now, it's because we mentioned Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Now he's just like frothing at the mouth. But I think unless Cody's got some secret injury, we know the result of this. So.
Oh yeah, unless it's going to be a dusty finish.
Yeah, I mean they could do something weird with it. But time will tell. But where we're at in the championship tournament for the King of the Ring, at least, is we have Gunther against Jey Uso coming up in the next round, and then still from the SmackDown side of things, which obviously we're going to have tonight, we have Randy Orton and Carmelo Hayes, one match, which I assume will be tonight, and then LA Knight and Tama Tonga in another one. And then I'm really confused of who's going to win this, because obviously Uso wasn't meant to be in the tournament. He replaced Drew. No. So it feels like Uso probably isn't their plan.
And that was Uso versus
Gunther. So
Gunther.
Yeah, so Uso beat Finn Balor and then Dragunov. And so next up, so on May 20th Raw, he's going to go against Gunther. So it feels like Gunther's going to be in the finale. And it feels like Gunther probably has to win.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think he's got to win it.
But who do we have in the finale against him? So it's going to be between Orton, Hayes, LA Knight, and Tonga. And how do they... Like, Tama Tonga's only just debuted. So...
Yeah, it's too early for that.
Well, yeah, it's too early for him to win, but I don't know why they put him in this.
Probably just to make the numbers up and like to get his like profile up kind of thing.
Yeah, but unless he's winning it, I just feel like it's gonna
it'll be like a little something going on with the bloodline and something to throw him out.
Yeah.
Unless they do the bloodline. He's facing Randy, is it tonight?
No, he's against LA Knight, so I think Tama Tonga has to win, and then it will be Orton against Gunther in the finale.
Right. And then something will happen through that match.
Yeah. I am worried, though, that Orton made his triumphant return, and then he's losing all of his big matches.
Unless it'll be Gunther versus Randy.
Well, that looks like that can be the final. So, unless Jay wins, and then is there something between Jay Uso and Randy Orton? Two faces. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah.
On the women's side of it, so we've got Io Sky and Lyra Valkyrie will be next Monday night to see who goes in the finale there. And then tonight we've got Nia Jax and Jade, and then Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair. But actually, did you hear of their controversy?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, it's a bit weird because it's all. How can I put this? Cap.
This image is brought to you by Deb's weird anime suggestion that I forgot the name of, but I found it on Google. This is Cody Rhodes in a Ubisoft anime.
Yeah, okay. With the largest nipples in the world. Okay, how are you, Cap?
I am invisible, or I've turned into a cartoon, my dream has realized, but this is all you get from me.
That's okay, that's okay. We'll get on to all of the stuff that's useful. But Gav, we were just saying, the controversy. So, like, obviously, go on, Gav, go on.
They're obviously friends behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, when you're... What people don't understand is, like, when you're actually behind the scenes and actually friends,
you
could be doing all kinds of stuff to each other, and, like, it might have come across where she was just being friends, like, doing their friendly banter.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's kind of gone onto the internet where it probably shouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
Because people don't know the dynamic.
Well, see, it's a weird thing, and it's like... It's one where I think we've said before that people kind of need media training, so like what's acceptable language and stuff like this. Because obviously, just when you're referring to someone's race, and there's not really a way to do it in a way that. And
that's the thing when you've got millions of people around the world, like not privy to like your relationship kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying that as it is, and it's just like, oh, okay.
That's
a bit, I can understand where it would be offensive to some people. Like, to me, it wasn't, but other people would be. So it all depends on.
Well, yeah, like, you know, there's ways in which, you know, I'm not going to say anything on this stream that's going to, like, ding anything on YouTube or stuff, right? But there's ways in which, you know, you could say, well, it wasn't the worst it could be, but it's also one of the things that, you know, kind of just, I thought was understood in 2024, as people love to say, that you don't take that risk anyway. But from what I saw earlier, just because it came up on the headlines, they said it was kind of like, if it was someone who wasn't getting over so well, they'd probably be in more trouble. But I'm sure they've had conversations behind the scenes about, that was a mistake, don't do that again, kind of thing.
I heard a rumour that it was getting pulled.
Well, yeah, I heard that, but from what they've said so far, I don't think it's been announced as being pulled. But I'll check WWE.com.
There's the thing that Chael Sonnen said about the thing with wrestlers had the anonymity before, that before social media, they could just put on this persona and afterwards they're just themselves, they don't have to keep up the act. But then when they incorporated social media into WWE and stuff like that, they're full on that act 24/7, and that's not helping anybody. I think that's the main thing of these kind of outbursts.
Well, okay, so
social media.
Here's the interesting thing on WWE.com. Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. LA Knight versus Tamatonga. Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. Now, is that because they can only fit 3 on there, or has it been pulled?
That's interesting.
That is interesting, isn't it? Let's see what else SmackDown preview. I mean, the simple thing you could do to make it less... Oh, no, it still says Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair. Just have Bianca win, and then the unfortunate thing with that is Jade has to win. Like...
Yeah,
but then you've got Bianca and Jade already.
You don't want to do that yet.
What they could do is if Tiffany wins, you could have... Well, if Jade wins first, and then Jade accompanies Bianca to the ring, Nia Jax could come back down and cost Bianca the match.
Could be that.
And then
again...
Yeah, go on.
Another thing is to remember, the last match with Bianca, a very telling storyline being planted here. She injured her leg. So
Who did?
Is that going to be a factor in last week's match? Who did she wrestle last week?
Gosh, I can't remember. That was a whole week ago, Gav.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yes, she was selling her leg a lot. I can't remember.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, time will tell with that. So, Capelthave, you are here, and we didn't just tease you on here to talk about the Paul brothers, but so let's get slightly into this. So, first of all, you love Logan Paul, don't you, Cap?
No.
So, who do you think's going to win at the King of the Ring? Will it be Cody versus Logan Paul, World Title versus US Title? So.
How's Logan Paul doing on the fan space in WWE right now?
On the fans, well, he's got the Prime logo on the centre of the ring. You know, he's still the US champion, so I think they're pretty happy with him. But I don't think the fans like him because, you know, he's a natural heel.
Oh, then he's gonna win.
What, you think he's going to win the world title?
Yeah, WWE has to no.
Like 2 years to finish the story, and then he's going to lose to Social Media 101.
Although that could happen, that could be a twist where you go, "Oh, I did not believe that happened," but okay.
The only way it could happen was if The Rock turned up and cost Cody it.
Yeah.
But why would he? He'd want the belt.
But it all makes sense in a little way, like what I'm there thinking. Now you just said that. When is the fight with Tyson and...
Is it July 20th? I'll double check.
The weigh-ins happened, right? The weigh-ins or the media thing happened recently, I think. I love that when they asked Tyson, like, aren't you too old to box? And he's like, but I'm pretty.
This is such a bullshit headline. Fans fear for Mike Tyson as footage of first face-off with Jake Paul goes viral. Why do they fear for Mike Tyson just because Jake Paul's taller? It's still Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but he's younger and...
Are they honestly trying to market this, that Mike Tyson is the underdog?
The thing is, you got to remember, he's 50. How old is Tyson now? 50 what?
He's in 60s, I think.
He can't be 60. He can't be 60. Mike Tyson. I'd say he's 54 if I had to guess. Let's have a look.
No, he's older than that.
Okay, let's see. He's 57. He's 57.
57.
Okay, near 60. The thing with Jake Paul, right? He's not a great boxer, but he can at least do something. And the weird thing is, the only advantage that Mike Tyson has, he has basically fought heavyweights, and Jake Paul said never actually fought people that are in his own weight class. So that's the only thing that Tyson has, the experience, and again, he's a better boxer. But it's a weird thing. I just can't see it. Like, even if you see the Roy Jones Jr. versus Tyson, you can see, like, Mike can get hit now. It's easy to get hit, and I don't think Jake has that much power, but again, as old age goes, it can happen.
Look, all I know is Jake Paul lost against Tommy Fury. So Mike Tyson is going to wipe the mat with him. I expect this to be, unless they kind of fix the fight, this is going to be a first round knockout.
If it was like 40-year Mike Tyson, even in his after like Mike Tyson quit the game because like he didn't want to fight anymore because like he was losing bumps that he normally wouldn't knock him out, but he said like I don't want to disrespect the sport anymore. At that time, he was losing to people who could not have beaten Mike Tyson if he was actually in his game. So I think it can happen. Skill-wise, I still think Jake is not in the level of Mike Tyson and also his intellect. But again, age is a big number. He has a puncher's chance.
Definitely.
But the weird sad thing is, like, I hate the fact that, like, it's completely WWE in a weird way with boxing now. And that's the thing. I mean, like, this would have been fine if they did in WWE.
Yeah, most of these fights are now.
Yeah.
Just, that's a shame.
Exhibition. So.
Well, yeah, like it was. Was it Logan or Jake against Mayweather? It was Logan, wasn't it? And but like Mayweather was literally holding him up.
Holding him up.
Yeah.
He was knocked out on his feet, and he was holding him up. And even the last fight Tyson had with Holyfield. That again, exhibition.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But there is the aspect that they said that this is going on their pro record. So this, like, literally Mike Tyson's pro record is on this.
Wow.
There was a match between Holyfield and Vitor Belfort, and like that was dreadful. That was dreadful to watch because like Holyfield couldn't really move, and Vitor was just like clocking. Again, Vitor was juiced up to the bones. You can tell from the looks of it.
Yeah.
But again, Vitor's good in MMA striking and stuff like that, but again, to beat Holyfield in that fashion, I was like, man, sometimes age, you can't beat age.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
But I would have been fine if they did this in the WWE. Like the Mike Tyson versus Big Show thing. You could have done this in WWE.
The only thing about if they do it in WWE, then everyone knows it's a farce, right? Whereas my conspiracy theory for a couple of years is like we just said, these exhibitions is like so much like it is just like in 100 years, people are going to talk about how MMA or boxing used to be real sports, like wrestling, but now they're just works. Because when the cat was let out of the bag with WWE, with wrestling, that, you know, Vince McMahon, it's like, oh, it's a fake sport just so that he didn't have to pay athletic commissions and didn't get done for steroids and all this kind of stuff. Once the cat was out the bag, that's when the business went down. Probably because it hurt the business. People then couldn't be on steroids, and so people looked worse and all of these things. And then it became absolutely that, well, this is just a show. But along the way, you know, coincidentally, UFC started, like almost like within a year of the whole kayfabe dying because McMahon was on trial. That's when we first had UFC. And when you see the first UFC bouts, it was like brutal and literally people just wearing anything, and like people are there in gis, some have got shoes on. Sorry.
I think at that time UFC didn't really have rule sets. Basically,
no, they didn't.
You could do fishing and stuff like that.
It was like banned in 48 states for like the first 5 years.
Yeah.
You know.
But then the Athletic Commission, again, UFC's favorite for strikers is mainly because the rule set is set for strikers to win. That's been the case for like since the start of it. And again, people want to see striking matches. But with boxing, David, I think right now what's happening to boxing is that boxing is literally dying to MMA.
Yeah.
And it's a much more brutal sport and much more entertaining sport for fans. And if they want other alternatives, they would go to WWE or any sort of wrestling promotion. In boxing, you just, again, even if you look at personalities, who are the new boxers that like everyone world famous? Like, even if you ask a normal person to throw names, they would name people who are ancient.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, in my opinion. And I'm not the biggest boxing guy, I'm not the biggest MMA guy, so you guys feel free to feed in on this. But, like, there is WWE and there is UFC. Like, AEW is a thing, and along the way there was WCW or whatever, but WWE is the top of the mountain. It's the Hollywood of professional wrestling. UFC, you know, there was Bellator and Pride and whatever else, and some of them I think are gone now. Some of them still might exist, but most of the small ones that were rivals, like Pride is gone, and is Bellator still a thing?
I think it's recently got bought out by something, right?
Well, exactly. This is what I mean. And so it is just this juggernaut that's UFC. So, you know, everyone knows they're the ones that make the stars. But the thing with boxing is that there's always been different world titles. There's been different boxing commissions and this and that. And so who is pushing it? They're like WWE will have people under contract, and it's like, well, they're independent contractors, they should be able to go anywhere. With boxers, that's where it's still kind of actually real, because boxing is a bit more like the NWA of the old days in wrestling, that there's different things that oversee it. So you'll suddenly hear all this hype that a fight is promoted, but they don't have like a promotion that is building up anyone other than the individuals.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so that's why someone like the Paul brothers have suddenly started this celebrity championship boxing, and actually now you actually have a vehicle who are pushing all of like the Jake Pauls and the KSIs and the Tommy Furies and people who boxing fans will look at and say, these aren't boxers, and why are they the most famous boxers now?
Yeah. True.
But do you think in the future they will probably, like, the thing with the main audience with Jake Paul and Logan Paul and KSI are like really young kids, even younger than me. So do you think like in the future they will probably win the game because like boxing was all to them was these guys, and as they get older, oh, these were real boxers, they were boxing when I was a kid. So do you think that will happen in the long run?
I didn't quite understand. Think what will happen?
Right now, you have a generation who knew like real boxers, like Tyson and stuff like that. It's still pretty recent.
Yeah.
But like the audience of Jake Paul and Logan Paul are just kids, they're younger than me. And as they grow up watching these guys, they would think these are real boxers. They wouldn't have the comparison. So, and the long game, wouldn't they just become legends like Ali and Tyson?
I don't think so, and the reason I say that is because one, like, there's still so much money to be made off of people like Muhammad Ali, so that, you know, he retired in the late 80s, or maybe he boxed once in the 90s or something, but he's still the most famous boxer in the world. Probably the second most famous of all time would be Mike Tyson. And even though he's doing this now, his era kind of ended in the late 90s or very early 2000s. And they're just not doing anything to really make stars. But then when you get someone like Logan Paul, literally after his last boxing match, he was like, I'm quitting to focus on WWE. So these guys, they're now going to realise that, oh, if we can be involved in something that's a work and not have... And I think what they're doing... We'll see how the Netflix things go, because it's interesting that Netflix have now got WWE and they're promoting this boxing. Because if Netflix get more and more into boxing, then we'll see how much that Netflix become the big promoter. Netflix might end up becoming like a heavy hitter, pun intended, in boxing promotion, who then make people stars. And it might either be that real boxers get elevated, or they entirely focus on the celebrity boxers and the YouTubers and stuff.
I was going to say, the other thing is, like, now we've got social media and there's YouTube. So a lot of people now can actually go back, and it's easily to see some of the old fights and whatnot. So, whereas like beforehand, everything was like on VHS or whatever. So you had to actually go out your way to actually, if you had the interest in it as well. So
I love the fact that you guys have so much faith in the younger generation. That they will go back and look up.
No, I think they do. Like, I'll be completely honest. Do you know what, guys? I think I said Cap. I don't know if you were on the show when I said this. Gav, I'll say this to you as well. I made a video on my gaming channel about the Wii U, right? Okay. And I posted about it on a YouTube, on a Facebook page, and I said about a game, and then the comment was, my grandchildren have that game. And I suddenly felt so old, right? I was like, what? What do you mean your grandchildren had that game? I was like, I'm still young, I'm cool, right? And I just felt like, gosh, like, times have, like, changed where what people do, it's not just young people that have technology, as one thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, so even if I don't count as a young person per se, like, if I go onto, like, TikTok or Instagram, periodically it'll just show me, like, boxing or MMA and wrestling, because obviously it all connects into the combat sports stuff. And I'll watch it, and this will be how I learn about, like, boxers from the 80s and, like, the 70s even, because it'll have archive footage. And some of these have got millions of views. So I think, and like we were saying, Cap, just before you came on, like WWE, if you think that they're trying to just like market to young people, they are literally selling championship belts based on people that retired in like the year 2001. So yeah, so look, they've literally got a Bret Hart championship belt, and that's a new product.
That's cool.
I mean, it's cool. But like, who is this made for? Because they must know that so many people that I think we kind of live in a weird generation, and I say that knowing that Cap, you're a little bit younger than myself or Gav here, but like I think they've realised, just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which obviously you're really into, Cap, like so much of the things they make, or Cobra Kai and stuff like this, or wrestling stuff, they make it selling it to the people that grew up with it. So it's just a weird time where the lines are being blurred between what they show to people that watch stuff 20 years and they still show older stuff to people nowadays so that they can sell younger people Bret Hart belts.
I also think like even if you look at me like the 2000s generation, we didn't really have the internet. Like social media and things were like not that big of a thing. We still had like other celebrities, athletes and stuff like that we didn't follow. But you understand, like I think after YouTube became a thing, like 2010s was a weird era where there's like people didn't follow celebrities because celebrities weren't on these social medias anymore. The people were, that's what the new stars were building up. And after that generation was mainly focused on YouTubers and stuff like that. There is a disconnect, but there's enough people in the world who can get those views and buy those belts. And also, we are now adults now. 2000 kids are now adults, so they can buy stuff too. But I do think there is a disconnect with the internet generation. And I think that's what they're trying to promote with these social media influencers. Although I'm saying the problem is that they're using the most terrible ones to do so. But yeah, still, they might win the long game. That's what my thinking.
I was going to say, because like the thing is, even like, you look at it, you know, the new Transformer toys that are coming out.
Yeah.
Where they actually transform on their own and whatnot. Those things are like £900.
Wait, they transform on their own?
Oh, you haven't seen them?
No.
Check it out.
Okay.
£800 to £900. There's no way that a youngster's going to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
So, like, someone like my age and up would probably be able to do that. Like, if they've got their kids that's grown up and whatnot, they'll be able to do that. My kids are still young. So, like, I can't afford that. But someone that's got no more kids, like, paid their mortgage off or whatever, they can afford to be like, you know what, I'm going to splurge on this.
Yeah.
We're marketing to older people in that regard. So.
And the amount of reach that right now we have with the internet, like all over the world, that there's enough people to fill any niches now. That's also the thing.
Don't know if I can reach it.
My thing with Logan, I actually approved when he switched to WWE, but Gab didn't. Gab was like, no, but then Gab approved it later on, and I was like, oh,
later on, yeah.
I never thought I'd live to see the day. But I actually like Logan Paul. I actually like Logan Paul moving to WWE. I think that was a natural course. Like, I'm 100% sure he's not going to make it as an actual boxer. Even with Jake Paul, you see, I think Jake Paul is like, he actually does train a little bit and has tries to get improved. But you can see on the Tyson Fury, I forgot that his name is not Tyson Fury, it's not the Tyson. Tommy Tyson, or what's his name?
Oh, what, his brother?
Tyson, Tommy Fury.
Yeah, Tommy Fury. Yeah, even he's not a great boxer, but he's a real boxer. That's the minimum qualification you can think of. But Jake Paul, again, didn't do that bad, but he didn't win. But I think as in time goes, he can be a little bit improved. He's not going to be the next Mayweather or Tyson or anything like that. No. But I think he'll do okay as a little bit of a boxer, but that's it. But no one will take him seriously if he keeps doing these stunts. That will never happen. Like, real athlete fans will not take him seriously. But I can see the same thing. In the long game, I think they might win. And I pray for it.
Gosh.
Well, he's doing a good job in WWE anyway. They probably need to take the tie off him right now, though.
But not to Cody.
Saying that, at the same time, it might be a good time to put the title on him as well. Because imagine, he has a US belt and a world title belt walking in with his brother to fight Tyson.
I mean, that's cool. That's a cool image. Yeah. But if it's, I'll tell you what though, Gav. If he was going for Damian Priest's title, I'd say, oh my God, Logan's going to win it. This makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, but Cody's, it just feels like feels like a 2-year story for him to finish the story. If he then loses it 2 months later, I feel like he looks a fool. Like, I think the minimum time he has to lose it on a bigger stage, like SummerSlam. It has to be as the minimum. Because I even remember years ago, like, was it Benoit won the title at Mania and then lost it to Orton? Was that at SummerSlam?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that feels like the shortest reign that someone should. If it's their second or third reign, then you might think, oh, okay, they've lost it, they've had it. But if someone's got their first reign as the world champion and then they lose it before SummerSlam, it feels like they've kind of failed.
It's true.
You know, but I don't know. I'd be so surprised if Logan Paul won, because it'd be such a visual, you know, Mike Tyson and stuff like this. But I don't think that's worth the payoff.
Not at all.
How's Cody with the management right now?
How is Cody with the I think they hate him, Cal. Right? You know, they made him world champion ironically.
You know what? Cody's probably the biggest thing right now in wrestling with regards to the management and the fans. Because the fans love him because of what he does for them as well. He goes above and beyond. And then management are going to love him because he's doing his job. So,
to be honest, guys, like, if it, like, when I saw him, like, in the 2000s, right, I never thought this is going to be, like, the biggest star in WWE. I never had that vision.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to be that guy who's like, I was the first to recognise his potential. But the first time I saw Cody Rhodes was when Dusty Rhodes was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Dustin and Cody came out to induct him. And I think Cody did most of, like, the induction speech. And I was like, this guy's got something. Like, his promo ability was insane. And he was there saying, you know, and Goldust should be in there. And I was like, yeah, like, I was like really into it. And then he came out and there was like whole, he's just a tag with Hardcore Holly. And then it was that he was in Legacy. And then by the time he was with Damien Sandow, and Damien Sandow was Mr. Money in the Bank, and then they just botched that. But when Cody was like bitching that, oh, he shouldn't have won, it was like, but it was a ladder match, he was allowed to win, you know. That's when, to me, they started dropping the ball with Cody, you know, because it was like, well, you know, he seems like he's the underling who people want Damien Sandow rather than him, and he just started becoming nothing. I thought his character as Stardust, I thought was bad. And look, when you hear him speak about it, he was never comfortable with it. He was never happy with it. But I felt like he never found what he should have done with it. Yeah,
I could tell he was not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, because he did that, he should be grateful to Stardust as a character. Because he did that, he ended up with the storyline with Stephen Amell, and he was in Arrow because he was like a superhero. That's the only reason he got the look in to be in Arrow. And then because of that, he started taking acting lessons, which is now why he cries every single week on television.
You know what, though? I always say you got to celebrate your downs as well. That Stardust character was probably the biggest and best thing that actually happened to him.
Yeah.
Because, like, look at him now. Like,
wasn't there a period where he had like a plastic mask over? I thought he was like turning like. I actually like that character, but again, he never had any good matches.
It was brilliant. That one was brilliant.
Because the idea was that he thought, was it that he'd broken a nose, or that he thought something had happened, an orbital bone or something?
Yeah, and then it made him ugly.
Yeah, as if I'm disfigured, but clearly he wasn't. You know.
Yeah, and that was the bags though for people. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Get the bags and whatnot. So, but yeah, I have to say, even so, when they were calling him Core, you remember that?
No.
Great wrestler. Video games.
Well, because he just looked like the generic guy.
Oh, generic.
Oh my god, you're right. Let's see if I can bring that up.
Cody giving hope to all the dreamers. You can do it.
Do you know what? I can't bring up the example, just because it's now coming up where people have created him. But he does just look like the base character.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. This might be it. Creator Wrestlers versus Cody, SmackDown 2011. See if I can bring up the image. We always have to be so careful with these creator wrestlers that they're not too dodgy. But he just does look like the standard guy before you've got started.
Yeah.
You know, but...
But what happened to Goldust?
What happened to... He's in AEW.
Yeah. He's still rapping. He's like really, really old.
He's got to be 60...
Nah, he's got to be younger than Mike Tyson. He's got to be like 50, 56.
Let's see.
Goldust. Is he 60? Oh, no, he's 55. Come on, guys. I said he was younger than Mike Tyson.
Right. Do you know what? It's because like when I was younger watching him. That's why. But okay.
He's Benjamin Button, as he often says. You know.
There you go.
But you know what? Look, it says ring names. The artist formerly known as Goldust, Black Rain, Dustin, Dustin Rhodes, Dustin Runnels, Dusty Rhodes Jr. apparently was a ring name for him once.
Wow.
Goldust, Gold Dustin, and Seven. Wow.
But the thing, I'm not sure, like, I've like seen him since when he started, but like when he came, like he had an identity, he's gonna be this weird Goldust character. But like when Cody started out, he basically didn't have any identity. I mean, he had the trunks, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's all he had.
Yeah.
I think even at that time, if he started out with his new outfit with like the American pants, the flag all over, and gold hair, I think even at that time he would have been famous. I think like if he had the same character that he has right now.
Yeah. So Cap, like, have you? Do you not get AEW to ever see it out there?
I haven't seen WWE yet, but I don't know. I haven't checked the sports channels in my TV. I haven't watched TV in 2 years now.
You haven't watched television in 2 years?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Do you know what? I'm probably the same.
What?
Apart from wrestling, that's about it.
Wow.
Do you know what? Because everyone's going on about this baby reindeer lately.
Yeah.
That's the first time in probably a year I've actually put on Netflix.
Wow.
It's like, okay, let's have a look and see what this is about.
Cap, do you know what he means by baby reindeer?
I think we spoke about it in the Geek Battle, and after you guys said it, I watched an explainer video, didn't watch the series.
Of course. See, the thing is, I don't quite get why people are so obsessed with it, because it's fascinating, but the thing that's been more interesting is that the person who they found the real life person, and she's like a nut job or something.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, in all of this, what I don't understand, everyone's like talking about her, everyone's talking about him. What about the guy that actually started this whole thing in the first place? Like, that made him the one that lured him into the apartment.
I don't know, like, people don't know who that is yet. Like, I read one thing that...
I think they said the producer of the actual show looks a lot like the actor.
Yeah, and apparently he's the writer of, like, I can't remember what that thing is now. But he's a writer for Geek Show.
Oh, wow. I don't know who that was off the top of my head, but...
Yeah, but no one's actually talking about him or...
See, here's the weird thing. It's like, at some point, like, if WWE hadn't just done a deal with Netflix were going to be doing a Vince McMahon, like, series. And this would have been that, you know. Yeah. And it still might be, I guess. But...
I still think that Vince McMahon's going to get his own documentary movie. That will happen.
Apparently they were making it, you know. Like, okay, I'm going to go into slight conspiracy theory territory here. Netflix were apparently making a Vince McMahon documentary. WWE do a deal with Netflix, so obviously that's not going to happen because it would damage WWE. So they'd be like, you can't damage it because otherwise it'll damage what we've just paid $5 billion for. And then the other aspect of it, Dark Side of the Ring, right? Literally, all they do is do the controversies and everything that's dark and bad in wrestling. They've now got a new show, The Death of WCW, produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So it means the Dark Side of the Ring guys will have the handcuffs on them. They ain't going to touch the Vince McMahon story because they want some of that $7 Productions rub from The Rock. Everything that would be doing these exposés of whatever happened are being locked down by WWE.
The only hope is Tony Khan.
Well, okay, I can add to this conspiracy theory. Okay. Because there was stuff a couple of months ago when it was a lot of stuff being said about it that Tony Khan said, "Oh, I can't comment on that," and I was like, "Why can't he comment on that?" And then at the time, I think we said it's like, well, how can Tony Khan comment on this when he's just hired Ric Flair? When Chris Jericho was having these accusations and stuff.
Or he has skeletons in his closet. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Tony Khan has a lot in his closet that's going to come out sooner or later. You know, it's going to be like Darby Allin.
All the wrestlers in body pillows.
Yeah.
Not scaring him out of his life. Gosh.
But like, so I think like Tony Khan a couple of years ago, he was a bit freer to sort of like take jabs. Well, no, he did actually, because there was that thing where he recently said that WWE was the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling, and obviously he didn't directly just say Vince McMahon. But I don't know, like it just feels like Tony Khan has got everything that's happened with CM Punk, Brawl In, Brawl Out, and all that kind of stuff. There is enough ammunition that could damage AEW and Tony Khan. Yeah. So that it's just going to be one of these weird industry things where it's like, well, if you attack this, we'll attack that. So it's the Cold War, basically, where it's like self-assured destruction or whatever the term is. Where it's like, if you cancel us for this, we'll cancel you for that.
For my surprise is that, like, when the Vince McMahon thing came out, like, everyone, to my thought, like, everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, everyone was like, yeah, 100% makes sense. But there were lots of people who were not convinced, and I was like, did you see WWE?
Yeah. I mean, like, the strange thing about it is, you could say, well, did you see WWE? There were so many things on his television show that he did that confirmed it, but then you'd make the argument that, well, that was just a character. But at the same time, I think this was just, I'll hide it in plain sight. You know, I'll just... Yeah.
But, like, if you're at least a little bit of a wrestling fan, you would know that McMahon is McMahon, like, all the way through the backstage stories from everything you get. It's that dude. That crazy's running everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear the stories from actual wrestlers as well. So actually give their shoot interviews, but
Sometimes it reminds me of the fact that like sometimes people still believe that wrestling is real. I mean, like the winning aspect of it. And I'm like, people still exist. Good to know.
Yeah, so
I spoiled it, of course.
right. It's just interesting though, just like Tony Khan, he might be waiting to get like a new deal on TV or something to know that he's secure for the next 3 years, 5 years or whatever. But it's surprising that he hasn't, like, what AEW have done recently to try to take stabs at WWE has mostly backfired on them. Like, when Will Ospreay came out and had a go at them, showing the CM Punk backstage footage backfired on them. And so they're in a weird position where if they go on the offensive, people are looking harshly on them for doing so.
Yeah.
And like AEW's, the thing that annoys me most, which I'm hearing all the time on AEW, is this new catchphrase they've got is AEW, where the best wrestle.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I don't wrestle anymore.
Well, exactly. You are best. You are best, right? But the stupid thing about it is, even if you say that, where the best wrestle, it's like WCW used to have where the big boys play, which I don't think really works in the 2020s. But just if you just hear that little slogan in isolation, it definitely tells you there's something else out there. Because if you're saying it's where the best wrestle, it tells you there's somewhere else. Whereas WWE would never even acknowledge anything else even exists.
No.
You know,
it's only now that they're like the Vince era's gone.
Yeah.
That they're starting to talk about New Japan and other areas, even AEW they mentioned, but like not to promote it really.
Yeah.
Remember when Sting retired?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, congratulations to Sting on his retirement. And then Pat McAfee, he was there saying, oh, what a match last night. And Cole cut him straight off. With
he did. It's too far, Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Because
but nothing else.
Yeah. See, like, going back years, though, I remember how WWE occasionally would do something. And one of them that I remember was that when Mick Foley was in TNA, they promoted Mick Foley's book. And apparently Mick didn't know. But then, like, a year later, Mick Foley went back to WWE. And they, it's just like extending the olive branch, saying, look, we want you back. So we'll promote your book. You'll get more sales from us mentioning your book on Raw than you would from anything else. Okay, guys. So what else is on your mind? We're a couple of weeks out from any pay-per-views, or is the AEW Double or Nothing? Is that this week or next week? I think it's next week, right?
No idea.
Double or Nothing 2024. So Sunday, May 26th. So we're a couple of weeks out from AEW's biggest show of the year. Cap, go on.
Did you decide who's winning the Queen of the Ring?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
What do you think?
It has to be Jade, because if she doesn't win, then she was undefeated for so long in AEW. She then comes in, loses the Royal Rumble, which is understandable. No one can win the Royal Rumble on their debut. And I don't know if she's lost anything since, but
not really, no.
If you just start to have these unstoppable people lose, I think if Jade wins Queen of the Ring, then that gives a reason for her to be like, Bianca's the seasoned vet. They're tag team champions, but Jade can just start to think that she's more important. Because even though people like Jade, even though she's been around for a couple of years, there's still the aspect of she was very protected, and like how Triple H said, well, she's green and it's not her fault. I think if someone's a bit green, if you can make them a heel, and I think she is better probably in the long run as a heel. She might be a great face in a couple of years, but I think as a heel, Queen of the Ring, then that can start to get the oh, where were you when I tried? You know, Bianca can be like, I tried to tag you and you were posing for photos or something like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can build to either SummerSlam or Survivor Series with them.
Romania.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They could lose the tag titles either at SummerSlam, or they could keep them at SummerSlam, but they could start to have the tension between them.
Exactly.
Lose them at Survivor Series, have them face to face in the Rumble, but they're face to face. Oh, it's going to happen. Don't touch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Io Sky and Lyra Valkyrie are in the semi-finals, and then tonight, Nia Jax versus Jade. Who are we going for?
I just want to say quickly, Io's match with Shayna.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Only saw clips, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
Jax and Jade. I think it has to be Jade, doesn't it?
Got me, Jade, yeah.
And then Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair.
I'm going to...
That they could do if they were, you know, if that was their plan anyway. But you know, they could lean into the controversy just to build up that now they are angry at each other or whatever. But I think we have to have. Well, in fact, if Jade wins, that would put her against Bianca next week, which can't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't happen. So Jax isn't going to win. So it'll be Jade versus Stratton, and then Io, I think, probably rather than Lyra.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm going to say Jade is winning.
Like, whenever this like unwinnable situation comes for both characters, they usually do a DQ.
They can't on the King of the Ring though.
Yeah.
Or Queen of the Ring rather. Someone has to get through. But yeah, and then then we've got Double or Nothing, which okay, let's just get your guys' opinion on this. The main event of it, by all rights, should be the world title match. Don't know if it will be, because I think they're doing Anarchy in the Arena or something. The Elite versus Team AEW. I hate when they do that. Like, you know, when you had
Team WWE.
Yeah, when you had Team WWE versus WCW, that's one thing. But why is it Team AEW versus the Elite? The E in AEW stands for Elite, right?
Exactly.
It's stupid. I really hope that isn't the main event, but that's Okada, Jungle Boy, and Matt and Nick Jackson versus Danielson, Dax, and Cash, and Darby Allin, who still has a broken face from being hit by a bus. So weird. Yeah, he was hit by a bus. You know, of all the people that would survive it, of course it is Darby Allin. So I'm pleased he's okay. Is he what?
Is he wearing a protection?
I don't know if I can bring up the photo. I saw like he was on Dynamite, and he'd got like it's got full face paint on one side.
Right.
But he had got some sort of like something across the bridge of his nose or something to just kind of. Oh yeah, let's see. Oh no, it's footage. I can't bring up footage. I can't bring it up.
If that's the case.
Yeah, he'd got something on his face. But
did he fully get hit on by the bus, or did he just hit on by the bus door or something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, door closed on him and he's just playing it up. Okay, but what I was going to say is, well, the two other options, the world title, Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. And I'll be honest, like, Christian Cage has been in the best thing in AEW in the last year and a half, but I don't think he should be going for the world title. Because, again, Swerve has just won it. They've already dropped the ball by underplaying him as world champion, and now they're putting him against, as much as I like what Christian has been doing, if Christian had won it 2 months ago from Samoa Joe to then drop it to Swerve, then I'd say, oh yeah, that can be the main event because Swerve needs to win. But Swerve has just won it, and we know where he's not going to lose it to Christian, who is a mid-card guy, as much as you don't want him to be.
Yeah.
I just googled, like, I didn't know who it was, but then it was Christian. Oh, it's Christian. That's it just
Christian.
Name now.
Yeah, Christian Cage. And then the one other option, Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné, because this is Mercedes' first match in AEW.
Is Willow the champ?
Yeah, Willow's the champion.
Yeah, Mercedes going to win.
She's definitely got to win the title. But also, it's because when Sasha Banks was injured, I think she had to drop the belt in Japan to Willow. So Mercedes is like, I want my win back.
Who's the heel?
No one. People like Willow.
Oh, right.
People like Willow, and they're going to like Mercedes Moné. So I don't think there is a heel. But like, it's kind of AEW, so there aren't really heels. Yeah.
Might get a heel at the end of the match, though.
Who?
Probably Mercedes.
Maybe. I think that would be a mistake. It's her first match. They can milk her a bit more. I think Sasha Banks can be. I find it really. I'm not even sure if it is it. When you hear them say it, it's like Moné. But I don't know. I find it. I just find it awkward to say it every time. I'm going to say Sasha Banks, right? So Sasha, right? She can work either as a heel or a face. I think because she's come over from WWE, even though she was in Japan for a while, capitalise on her, because this is a mistake AEW make. They brought in Daniel Bryan, and then a month later they turned him heel. Will Ospreay, they brought in, and even though he's a face, they put him with Don Callis. Okada they brought in and instantly made him a heel. It's like, we want to like these people, you know.
Tony can't book. He just can't book.
No.
Makes great matches, he can't book.
Oh yeah, Adam Cole debuted, they instantly turned him heel. You know.
Exactly.
They just make everyone a heel. It's like they shouldn't do it.
He makes CM Punk a heel.
Yeah. Well,
I think my problem with the whole heel storytelling is that, like, when they do heel storytelling, when they turn a face into a heel, the one thing I don't like is that when they turn into a cow. That always, like, makes me not. Because, like, as a face, they were these tough guys who could, like, fight big people, but then all of a sudden, they are big people in the first sense. And all of a sudden, when they turn evil, they go, I'm Skeletor, I will get you next time.
Yeah.
They just run off. I always hated that. Like, if you do a heel, just make the heel as intimidating as possible, and I think just adds to the whole thing. Oh my god, this guy as a hero can beat these people up. Now he's a bad guy. Who else gonna stop him? I think that makes those more tension. But I don't know. I just, like, WWE likes doing He-Man stories.
Well, and especially in the past, so Cap, this may predate you slightly, but in the 90s, Jerry the King Lawler, who obviously you'll know, but he was always the absolute heel commentator. And then, like, in the 2000s, people were like, oh, we love Jerry, so they didn't make him an out-and-out heel. And anytime someone would turn heel, he'd be on their side. Except for he had feuded with Bret Hart for years. So when Bret Hart turned heel, and Jerry Lawler was like, I kind of like this guy now. Jim Ross was so good that he called him out on this bullshit. He was like, you always hated this guy. And then so you've got the situation where you had a heel Bret Hart, and then Lawler still had to act like he didn't like him. Because you could literally hear the disgust in Jim Ross's voice of like, this makes no sense. Why would you suddenly be championing this guy when you've been feuding with him for 4 years? You know.
I think that happened with JBL too. When JBL started commentating, he would like support the heels, and then Michael Cole would call him out on it.
Yeah.
JBL always hates Rey Mysterio.
Absolutely. Right, guys, let's begin to wrap things up here. We'll leave any further double or nothing predictions another week. When is King of the Ring? That isn't... Oh, wait, a double or nothing and King of the Ring the same weekend? So double or nothing is May 26th. King of the Ring...
It's on Saturday. Not this Saturday, but...
is May 25th. Wow, what a week. So, yeah, let's try to get a show next week. And we'll do predictions for everything. That is a big weekend for wrestling. King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring, I should say, and Double or Nothing same weekend.
One thing you haven't touched on as well.
Yeah, go on.
Just quickly, and it's what do you call it? UFC, or Damien particularly, saying that UFC is going to be shown on a Saturday night going forward, and then WWE's PLE is going to be on a Sunday night.
Ah, I didn't know this.
Be changing.
Okay, well that's interesting because WWE always was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Until.
I prefer it on Saturday myself.
I do, to be honest. Yeah.
And then repeat for work the next.
Yeah.
So.
Like Cap. Yeah, go on.
I think Sid is probably talked about this a bit, I think, when he said, like, if it's on Sunday, for you guys it will be at night, but for the Indian viewers, I think it'll be, like, early morning. No one's going to watch that.
So what time does WWE generally start for you in Sri Lanka?
If watching it live, it'll be probably early in the morning, like 5 a.m. That sort of time.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna be up that time. Like again, when I watch WWE, I don't watch it live. I was like, you know what? I'm coming in the evening. I'm watching it now. Just don't need to.
I mean, if it starts at 5, in theory, if you got up at a reasonable early time, like 7 or something, you could watch the last hour, but you did get all of the spoilers of what else has happened. You could wake up to the main event. That'd be quite cool.
But you also have to go to work because it will be Monday morning.
Oh yeah, Monday. Yeah, true. Yeah, no, I like the Saturdays. I like the fact that they've done the show, like they did the show in France, and they've got one in Germany, they've got Clash in the UK. I like the idea of them doing pay-per-view, and like the ones in Saudi, when they started doing those, I know there's all of the reasons why people don't like those, and I won't get into that side of it. Yeah. But I was like, well, this is, I'm just finished work on a Saturday, now the wrestling's on, it's great, I was in favour of it.
I was just trying to comment, Cap.
Yeah, I have to talk a bit about The Rock with you guys. Like, how is he... Like, I know that in WWE he's now killing it. I just want to have the same energy in his acting career. Just...
Well...
I think the problem... Yeah, go then.
No, go for it, Cap.
No, I think the problem with The Rock is that in the general that he's such a brand, not a personality. He became a brand. That he just went by the brand rules. And when he came to WWE back and he went the brand way and the fans hated him and he was like, you know what, I'm just going to adapt. And he adapted well to the fans and now he's good again. I think that's what he needs to do in the movies, where it's like, instead of acting like a brand, go and work for a good director that will take no bullshit from you. And he'll just push you in the right direction. He'll ask you to do things that you otherwise would not do. I think if he does that, he will become a good actor. Like, that's what Arnold did. Arnold worked with James Cameron. And the relationship between them was like, I want to do this, and the director does that. No. Literally, James Cameron called him out when he said, I don't want to say, I'll be back. How about the robot will say, I will be back? And James Cameron was like, you know what? I'll write the lines, you say them. This is what he told Arnold's face being half his size. So, I think that's what Ron needs to do.
See, the Rock apparently has this no-lose clause in his movie roles, so he can't lose a fight. And
Why?
Well, it's the interesting... Look, here's the thing, like, he's a wrestler. And so, he main evented a WrestleMania against Hogan, and he probably just learned that lesson of, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
And, I think the Diesel's got the same.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine you go from wrestling Hulk Hogan, where Hulk's like, that doesn't work for me, brother, to then being in a movie opposite Vin Diesel, and Vin Diesel's like, I don't lose. Rock was probably there, he's like, I don't think I should lose either from now on. I don't blame him. I don't blame him in a sense. And so, but what I did hear about this is apparently that's why, because Black Adam was the bad guy from the Shazam comics. He was like, first of all, and I don't blame him, he was like, I'm The Rock. I'm not wrestling Shazam. I want to fight Superman. If I'm up here with Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin, my next match isn't going to be against Eric Rowan, is how I'm remembered. No, I want Superman. And so he tried to bring back Superman, and then it all went to hell there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so like he's like, I only want to go against the main event guys.
I would say, like with the Expendables movie where Stone Cold was the villain in that film, he beat Sylvester Stallone, but then he lost to Randy Couture. Randy Couture is an actual UFC guy, so of course he would win. But to be honest, it would have been better for his, like, story-wise if he had lost to Stallone. And the story, like, you lost to Rambo, weak, it makes sense. Randy Couture, who knew Randy Couture at that point? People who watch UFC know, otherwise, like, who is this guy? It would have been fun better for him.
Yeah, okay, so guys, I'm going to have to begin to wrap things up here, but I've just seen one of the funniest images wrestling related on Twitter that I've seen in a long time. So apparently, whoever's shared this, credit to, if they made it, AEW Neckbeard. So I think they're anti-AEW. But apparently AEW this week only got 672,000 viewers, which is low, because I think they usually get about 800,000. They've got a match here, which is, I think that's Okada and Dax Harwood. And they've shared this image. And I don't know how closely you can see this. But that is just, look how, like, his face is so squashed in between Okada's butt cheeks. I'm going to see if I can even zoom on this closer. Right, so opening a new tab. Let's get this. Full credit to them. Like, let's see, because the one at the top here, if you can see it, like, I've never seen a wrestler so squashed. It's like, what the hell was he doing? That's his new that's his new Tinder profile picture.
Wow.
Is there an image like Gav shared on the chat where like someone kisses the ring to retire and already someone's found
Yeah.
That was KO at the last what was that?
Backlash, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me just say this. Right, let me say this, because you've mentioned that word, right? Conspiracy theory. Like, okay, here's a conspiracy theory. So people have said for years that the rumor was that Walt Disney had his head frozen. So that's why they made the movie Frozen. So then when you Google Walt Disney Frozen, it will just come up Disney Frozen and show the movie. Vince McMahon has known for years that there would be a backlash against him. So that is why they named the pay-per-view. So when you type Vince McMahon Backlash, it will just come up Vince McMahon versus Randy Orton at Backlash 2005. WWE Backlash in France. They're like, no, I want the controversy. That's why that's called that.
No way out.
Well, exactly. So that's my conspiracy theory. But yeah, the last show in France was Backlash France. So yeah. Right, guys, let's begin to wrap this up here. If you've got any final thoughts to impart them. But otherwise, where can we find you, Gav?
I mean, here or on X. Actually, that's a gimmick infringement, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm so annoyed about them. I stole that from Shawn Michaels. I can't believe Elon Musk is stealing it from me.
And I'm sure Simon Cowell, X Factor.
Yeah.
But yeah. We need to, get to work on that. But
someone soon.
Clarence Mason on the phone.
You can find me on X, the best Gav, or here.
Cap.
You can find me on Talkies, where I sing, go dance, I drove a bucket, and I work with puppets. And this Sunday, or next Monday, if you live in Sri Lanka, is that you'll get a video about X-Men 97. It's my odd review about fast and fascinating things that I found on the show, so check that out, and you can also find me here on numerous shows.
Okay, my name's David Pstansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dave Pstansky. Check out the Slam Jam Wrestling Show YouTube channel, as well as all of the other Slam Jam related stuff. Also, check out my gaming YouTube channel at Geek Battle Gaming, where I've now got more subscribers to it than I do for the Extreme Improv one, which is crazy. But with that, until next time, you Slam Jam bronies, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now. Boom, and we're off the